score to the PS, there are many areas of collaboration that we, through our seniors, would wish to discuss with the PS, matters of interest to this country and to tourism. Because seated here are gurus, if I can call them gurus, or these are the encyclopedia of tourism in this country. From as early as 1969, when the formal training in tourism started, these are the pioneers. And they have a lot to tell the peers that can shape the future of this tourism industry in this country. Like we said, we are not competitors, we are collaborators who don't work with everybody and bring back this smile. So I hear the bell is being rung here. Our section C was now to start now the speeches. We just give him the opportunity because he's leaving. We may want to take a 5-minute break, but before then, I would want to present something for the PS. If you again, Mr. Sam, you can come here. It's a token of appreciation, and as a proof that you indeed have been here. So at least you can see, umetoka na nini. So this is a token book that we give to the PS. Tell him thank you. And you give us your contact, then it shall come through you.
Thank you very much.
For the tables to be reorganized, I will take a 5-minute break. I believe there are some, I don't know whether the snacks are still out there or not. Maybe what you call smoking break, if people still smoke. Then when we come back, there will be the presentations. We start with the academic presentations. We have our Pioneer College, Kenya Utalii College, and Mark is here. We have got IHTI, the principal is there. Air Travel is not represented, BHITC is not presented, MKU is represented. Sorry, MKU, there's nobody, it's KEMU. KEMU is represented. So those institutions that are presented, we've given a chance to take us through a very short presentation to showcase what the training institutions are doing for this industry. So when we come back, we shall be able to call you in that order. So 5 minutes break, then we come back.
My happiness is to see us as Kenyans filling this room as professionals. When we started the journey of Africanization in tourism and hotel industry in Kenya, even some of the head waiters in some of the big hotels were Mzungus. I think it was one general manager at Pan-Afric, Mr. Duge. I think he was the only qualified manager in this country. So when I see Kenyans filling the room here, forming or improving on this association of theirs, it gives me a lot of pleasure. The journey has been very difficult. Those who are before us did not want us to take over management of hotels in this country. And they did not do it at the table. They did it very openly. So you should be very happy that the road has been cleared for you. And we are trying to clear it further for those who are coming after you. This afternoon, I have been asked to talk a little bit. I think I have been given 10 minutes or 15 minutes to talk to you about the eventuality of death for our members. Many years ago, it was taboo to talk about death. But because it is inevitable, we cannot get away from it. If I look around this room, of the people who are my classmates, there is only this gentleman here, Stephen Kamoyo. I think we were about 20 in our class. I don't think we can count on one hand those who are still alive. So that's the reality, that we are transient on this earth, and we must think about that eventuality. The reason why I believe Chairman wanted me to speak about this is that he has not been very happy with our reaction when one of us departs. And I think he has every right to feel like that. We must support each other. That is why we associate. That's why we belong to one association. So we must support each other during the good times and during the bad times. And therefore, I'm making this appeal on behalf of the association, on behalf of the chairman, that when he calls upon, because one of us is in trouble, we should not be pushed to assist. We should feel it, our duty bound to help those we associate with. There are many reasons why perhaps there is apathy towards this. Unfortunately, deaths or barriers have become money drainers. I have seen all sorts of things. I have seen vehicles now, hearses, which have got doors like wings. I don't know whether you've seen them. And you can see opulence in funerals. I don't think that is really African. Let's face it. Death is death, and a dead body does not know whether you're flying them in a plane or you're carrying them in a wheelbarrow, nothing. So I think we must be moderate with how we treat, how we perceive the event of death. When I think about how we dispose bodies, I cannot but admire the Muslim community who get rid of a dead body same day if it happens before sunset. You know that? Do you remember when our past VP from Western, they went for his homecoming, and there was an air crash in which Mother Karua was in there and a few other people. Do you remember that story? And one of the ministers, Mr. Kibaki's, President Kibaki's, one of his ministers died in that air crash. There was a Muslim elder who went to the airstrip to claim the body of that minister. And he said, I want to bury him because that is our religion. And he was told, no. This is a government minister. Yes, you have to take the body to Nairobi. The Muslim have completely demystified the event of death. And I'm not saying that we go that direction, but let us be, let's be more sensible about this disposition of dead bodies. In the olden days, certain communities did not bury. They took their dead into the bush somewhere, and the hyenas and other things did the rest. We are not saying we do that. I'm only saying that we need to be careful with our resources when it comes to funerals, because burial is a burial. Burial is a burial. You remember Professor Wangari Maathai? Because of her love for trees, her coffin was what? Straw. They weaved straw, wrapped her in straw coffin, and buried her, because that is what she wanted. I have seen a transition from traditional burials in Kenya amongst Africans, especially those very affluent ones, to cremation. You know, many of very senior people in this country, rather than be buried, have been cremated. That leaves their lands and their homesteads clear. If their children wanted to sell such properties, buyers will not say, I will not buy this because the owner lies down here. So let's wake up, please. Eh? I think we have a lot to change, and I'm not saying this way is bad or the other is bad. Before, cremation was seen as a taboo, especially amongst my community, the Kikuyu. To burn somebody was not in the equation. Today, it is happening because times have changed. So, Bono Chairman, as much as you want us to respond, I want to ask all of us to be reasonable with how we spend our money, because the families, we would rather do something about families who have been left than spend all the money to bury a dead body. I don't want to say much more than that, but I do want to support you, Bono Chairman, when you say we must be more responsive when you call us upon to support those who have been bereaved. In the event that our members are not insured, because there are many sorts of insurances now, and you can actually insure your family in the event of death, and you pay kidogo money every month, so when those things do happen, you are able to afford to bury them decently yourself. But we see many cases of people who spend most of their time in luxury, in consumption of this and that, and they have not thought about their insurance. They don't. And when, unfortunately, they go west, the people will come with Ambakudi. Let's help so-and-so. Let's help those who have tried to help themselves. But if people will waste their resources, they cannot come to the public and ask for help when they need it. So let's be careful ourselves. And I'm saying this fully aware that in this group are the best entertainers, the most affluent in society, very well-dressed people. Let that dignity take you to the grave, because you have catered for it. Please, when the insurance people come for last, what is it called? Last respect. Please do not ignore them. I would be very, we are a big group now. We can all negotiate with one, and the rate will go down. I'm aware that Sarova Hotels have got a big group, many people who are in that group. So we can be, so that you pay do that, and eventually when your day comes, it will be lighter for you and your people. I want to end there. I pray that we don't lose any of us, but because we said it's inevitable, if we die by attrition.
Can we clap for us? Can we clap for Sio? Because you go to Uganda, you go to a hotel and you find someone and say, yes, I'm a product of Kenya Utalii College. And they will never forget to say, I'm a product of Mwakio Sio. So, as a gentleman there from his county said, Kenya Utalii College was synonymous with Mwakio Sio there. And he always gave them a menu as they closed. Those of you who remember him, he always gave them a menu to tell them goodbye. So we should be very proud of ourselves that we can Kenyanize professionally, and not only Kenyanize it professionally, but also do it professionally. And I like your chairman's statement here, that you are trying to legalize this, to get it to be a body like the Law Society of Kenya, which is recognized and supported by the government. This is a good direction to follow, a very good direction to follow, because those of us who are pioneers, as Patrick said, went through a lot of difficulties. He went through a lot of difficulties. There were titles created like food and beverage technologies, just to get a license, to get a license, to get a work permit. We went through that. We want to safeguard that by being professional. Wherever we are, the Kenya Utalii College, I'm glad you are here, produce that product. That product, not a food, not to be camouflaged as food and beverages technologies, but to be called a food and beverages manager. Si technologies ati kuficha ati sababu hajasoma, hapana. Let us be professional, as we are professional in this body. That is my greetings to you. Sitaongeza ingine, ni hiyo tu Bwana Kenywa. The only thing I want to tell the treasurer, and I see the treasurer here, who is also part of me, I want to have a scarf. I was not awarded. I was not given a scarf, and I feel a bit limited. Now, having said that, asanteni sana.
Thank you, Mr. Kabuyu. I'd like us to put our hands together and welcome Professor Charles Musyoki to give us his remarks next.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman. First of all, I want to say how happy I am this evening to be here in this AGM, and also how happy I am to be an honorary member of this very prestigious association. When I was asked to come and make some remarks here, I wasn't very sure what I was going to say, so I did a bit of like we people do who are in academia. You read a little bit And so I prepared a few notes. Unfortunately, our discussion this afternoon and right into the evening centered on quite a number of the issues that I prepared to speak to this evening. But I'll still go through them. First of all, having sat through this AGM and having attended another AGM that was at Kenya Utalii College a few years ago, one thing stands out very, very conspicuously, that really there is something that is really weighing down the association. This association is now 9 years old, if my reading was correct, having been registered in 2016 under the Societies Act. And perhaps that's where one of the problems is, because it is a society. And therefore, membership is voluntary. There's no way in which you can compel people to become members of a society. And as I was doing my reading, I think that struck me. Because again, having listened today to what has transpired, we are talking about a membership of 104 over a period of 9 years. That is really wanting. And that tells you that there is something that we really have to deal with in as far as this professional association is concerned. Because we have to pull it out. We have to strengthen it. It has to really live up to its expectations. And there are very many professional associations in this country. Again, I also read a little bit about professional associations that exist in this country. And I will mention just 3. I read about the Law Society of Kenya, and I saw their articles. But what was more important to me is how they are incorporated through an act of parliament. The next page that I Googled was the Architects and Quantity Surveyors Association of Kenya. And again, they are also incorporated through an act of parliament. I then went to the page for the Kenya Veterinary Board, which is the professional body for veterinarians. Again, they are also incorporated through an act of parliament. And then I went on and on and on. And every association, every professional association in this country that I was able to get to was incorporated through an act of parliament. And one other thing also stood out, that for you to practice in any of those sectors, you must belong to a professional body. You must be a member of a professional body. And so, there is no lawyer who can practice in this country when they are not members of the Law Society of Kenya. And look at the membership of LSK. It is in the tens of thousands. And we are here struggling with 104 members, 70% of whom are dormant, and we want to throw them out. And I'm not saying we should not throw them out, but throwing them out might actually be incapacitating the association. So therein is one of our biggest problems. It's how we came into existence. It was a good step, and I must commend the officials who made that baby step, that we had to be legally constituted. We had to assume a certain form so that we can be recognized in this country. And perhaps the only way that seemed to make sense at that time was being registered under the Societies Act. And it was good, because that is why we exist today, and that is why we are here today. But over the 9 years, we can now see some of the shortcomings associated with that manner of registration. Member apathy, that was very well articulated by our chairman. When I looked at our budget for this year, I was shocked. 1 million shillings is our budget. 1 million. Do you know what the budget of LSK is? Let me surprise you. Per year, this year, 2.7 billion. That is the budget of LSK. Do you know what the budget of the Architects Society is? In the same range. I was also surprised to see the level of subscription from the auditor's report. A paltry 400,000 shillings a year. A professional body that is serious, a professional body that is strong, has then to manifest in its membership. And the way to ensure that a professional body gets members is actually obligating professionals in that sector to join that association. And the way to compel them is through law. You cannot compel them in any other way. And I'll give you a good example, which I shared with Ambassador, CEO of a T-Brick. I'm the chairman of the Kenya Wildlife Service pension scheme. And for many years, we've been asking members to do what we call additional voluntary contributions, so that when they exit, when the time comes, they can have a better package. But they resist. Why? Because it is voluntary. And therefore, today, if even the normal contributions for retirement were voluntary, nobody would contribute. So that is the biggest weakness with having an association like ours, where membership is voluntary. And so today, I just want to ask that as an association, we do everything that we can to change that status. Let us lobby as much as we can. Let us garner as much political support as we can, so that this association can be incorporated through an act of parliament. Because that is what is problems. Look at the number of members that are look at the profession. A lot of the problems that we are going through. Because automatically, for you then to practice as a professional in this industry, then you will need to be a member of this professional body. And that is how these other bodies are succeeding. You saw the other day when we had buildings crashing. Isili, South Sea, Karen, you saw how the professional association came out strongly. At what point do we as an association come out strongly? We don't have the teeth. And I'm saying this because I want us to transform. we need to transform. We must make today better than yesterday for this association. And we must make tomorrow better than today. And one of the steps that we need to make is a legislative step. I know the chairman mentioned that this matter is probably already with the legislators, but we need a very strong political push. And if that can be done, I can tell you it can sail through very quickly. So that we avoid a situation where we meet again next year in an AGM, wherever it is going to be, and then we start talking about the same issues and we appear like we are lamenting. It shouldn't be. If you attend AGMs of some of these professional bodies, you'll be surprised. Sometimes they can't even get a venue in Nairobi. They have to go to a far-off city so that they can get a venue where they can fit. And then when you look at the agenda, because I also, when I was reading, preparing for this, I also looked at the agenda that these associations discuss. It's all about the profession. It's all about standards. It's all about conduct. How are the professionals conducting themselves? Who has violated what? And I'll give you another example that's actually an experience that I had when I was in the office of the Director General of KWS. I got into that office in the backdrop, and you will recall of 11 rhinos that died in Savo during a translocation. That was one of the most difficult times of my career. I had to deal with a lot, but I want to share with you an experience. Among the 2 officers who were implicated in that case were 2 veterinarians. And the Veterinarian Professional Association came to their rescue because they also conducted their own investigation to find out whether there was professional neglect on the side of the vets who were at the time undergoing a disciplinary process. And to my surprise, they said they committed no misconduct. And that is the professional body for vets. So again, that's a role that an association like ours needs to really play. And this industry has been with us for a long time, even before KUC was established, because I followed the history of KUC when I was a CEO there. I think it started at the Kenya Polytechnic. And that's when we started to have our own black Africans being trained as hotel managers. So since then, almost 50 years down the line, we still do not have a strong, active, professional association. I think this AGM should be a wake-up call that we need chairman and the team that we have elected to really lead us to do everything that is within our means so that when we convene again in the next AGM, we talk a different story. Because we can't keep talking about the same things. Again, the issue of whether the mandate of the association is overlapping with the mandate of other agencies, I think is something that we can clean up, because there cannot be an overlap. Like I said earlier, this is a membership association, has got its own role when it comes to regulating the industry. It's regulating even the professionals who are working in the industry and making sure that they are carrying out their duties and tasks according to the book. And that if they are wrongly accused, you can also come to their rescue, because it also happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will now refer to my notes. and allow me to wear my Vision 2030. Yes, so again, I think I've mentioned that. Role separation with TRA, Kenya Association of Hotel Keepers, and everybody else who is in that space. We need to separate our role from their role. Thirdly, we need a lot of publicity. Publicity has been lacking. We've been, I think, speaking amongst ourselves. We sit in an AGM like today's, but we are speaking to ourselves. We need to find a way of publicizing the existence of this association. And there are tools for doing that. Very many tools. Social media platforms, our website, which I have had a lot of time to go through, is another very good tool that we can use to publicize this association and its existence. We probably need an app that is shared with all members and potential members, so that on the app we can be giving updates of what the association is doing, the milestones we are achieving, and many other things, very good things that the association is doing. But above all, publicity is important. Are we seen, for instance, in this country, when there is an issue to do with hospitality? Are we seen? Do we appear when like the architects did when the buildings collapsed? When there is an issue to do with hospitality, hotel management, and all that has to do with that, do we appear? Are we seen? Professional body. We should be seen to be actively articulating issues to do with the standards, issues to do with the way the industry is. Very, very professionally. Like they said the other day, these people added 4 floors on top of the originally approved floors. That's a professional opinion. When there are issues to do with the hospitality industry. Methods, there are approaches that exist for really recruiting members. What benefits are there when you become a member? And I'm happy to see, and I've actually written it in my notes here, that this year we are planning to do a professional training workshop. That is one way of upping our game. That when members know that after attending a symposium or a workshop that is organized by the professional body, they earn points. They earn development points. I have been approving myself in my function at KWS today, accountants, and we pay for them as an organization. We pay, we have a budget for them. Officers, they attend. We pay for all cadres, engineers. So
I think somebody like Steve here might probably know who I'm talking about and might remember the incident. You know, okay. So he went to the board, gave them the letter, showed them. Everybody was very happy that he was getting this award. We in other parastatals were also given the same information. You know, so-and-so has won this award and is traveling. And the board approved travel, first class air ticket, including his accommodation, and so on. And one of the things they were required to do is send $2,000 to cover his accommodation, and I think the dinner or something like that. And they did all that. Okay? So some of us are very, jealous, eh? That so he made the trip. He was supposed to be received at the airport by representatives of the organization. They were supposed to have a desk there and so on. And of course the name of the hotel was given, where they were going to stay and where the awards were going to take place. So when he got there, he was looking for the desk, the reception desk. There was none. There was no desk. He goes to the information desk at the airport for assistance. They start calling, they call the hotel. Find the hotel existed. They called it. I said, so there's nothing like this here. We don't know anything. So he went, I think he stayed overnight or something. He had to change the ticket, come back. But he was not the only one who fell victim to that scam. He came back. Can you imagine all the embarrassment after the publicity that they had existed, or that had been? It's a very sad story. It's real, and in a way it's a funny story, but that's what happened because of these so-called awards. Now, this issue of that as us to talk about, I gave that story not if you are associated with a profession where such activities are taking place, what image then are you creating for that profession? You'll be taken as jokers. Nobody will take any of these professions seriously. And we have to guard against that, particularly because of the history that even Patrick mentioned, and what Stephen mentioned, and what Professor has just talked about. If you allow such activities to take place, and you watch it, and you do nothing about it, you are part of the problem. So one of the responsibilities of this association, our association, is to ensure you protect the professionals by fighting such, I'm glad you called it dubious activities. If you don't, it means you're embracing it. Now, if you embrace it, what are you really telling everybody? That you are not serious. Because if you are serious, you will not accept it. And what are you doing then to our young men and women who are aspiring to join these professions? We know how these professions were looked down upon in the years past. We know how much contempt they were treated with. But we started changing. We improved the image of these professions tremendously. I remember in the early years at Kenya Hotel College, we were being asked to go and recruit our cousins and so forth because the demand for the intake in Kenya Utalii College was so low. And we were going everywhere looking for people to come to join Utalii College. Years down the line, the demand grew so much that in 1 year, there was a year, I think it was 1995, I was there at that time as the principal. We received 75,000 applications for 300 places. That's how the whole thing changed, how much it changed. And I remember also, I recruited one of my cousins to come and join the food production course. And he came, stayed for 2 weeks, he said, no. He got admitted to teacher training at Shanzu, and he left Utalii to go to Shanzu. Down the line, those years down the line, he came to regret, he told me, I'm really regretting. I'm seeing how my colleagues who are chefs, something else I want to add to that in the same vein. There is now, unfortunately, I have to say, very unfortunately, that in the recent past there has been some decline. Let's face it, as far as the image of our professions are concerned. And I blame partly our politicians. Because we made a lot of progress for some years in getting our establishments managed by our people. People like Stephen here, he managed hotels, he even managed Africa, the whole group of companies, of African tours and hotels. People like that. What have we witnessed in the recent past? We get some dubious again. People coming from all over, and you're told their manager, and actually they have no training whatsoever in the industry. People calling themselves managers, chefs, but they have no training background. And they're given positions in our establishments. Right? Because of political connections and so forth. That is damaging our professions, and I can tell you, in my view, we have taken a few steps backwards. What does that mean for our association? It means we have a challenge. We have to correct that. We have to correct that trend and make sure that we do not allow any such activity. So things like these dubious awards or unwarranted work permits for expatriates who really don't deserve to be in our industry. These are things we have to fight, and I'm glad with the law that is going to be established, we shall be in a better position to fight against those trends. Okay. The other thing I want to mention here, the association must protect the training institutions, and I'm not talking about protecting for the sake of protecting. Making sure that the training institutions, because that's where professions start, that's where you grow the seeds, that you must also make sure that they rise to the occasion and provide the correct standards for Kenya. And in my view, we must start with Kenya Utalii College. Let's face it, I want to say bluntly here, Kenya Utalii College has a lot of challenges now. What are we doing about it? We here have to rise and help KUC get enough funding, because I know there is a problem with funding. We must protect KUC so that it gets proper funding and plays the role that it's supposed to play. The truth is, whether we like it or not, that there have been problems in that regard. So I'm emphasizing that because the whole issue of awards also has to do with training. Patrick will tell you that when years back, during the 1990s, we used to organize competitions for tourism industry employees. Okay? Now, those competitions are equivalent to what these awards are giving. I don't know what's happening now. I don't know whether those competitions exist, whether they're continuing. But I swear, the association has to start playing a more active role. Because if you don't play that role, we create a vacuum, and these dubious organizations presenting awards, then we'll find a space to come in and fill the vacuum that we've created. Okay? So, one of our missions has really to be to protect KUC, particularly starting with the funding. Ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to talk about these, whatever you're calling them. I want to close with one point. There is no profession that really gets respect if it does not emphasize on the discipline of its members. Discipline in every angle, in ethics, in their day-to-day activities, punctuality, for example. Let's face it, today we are not very punctual. Were we? We didn't start in time. We started I checked, 28 minutes late. Now, all of you who are into Italy during our time, you remember, okay? If you came to my class a minute late, my friend, you're out. You don't attend that class. And on top of that, if I give you a test, you get 0. Na nikasirika, awoni on top. Those are the cornerstones of the profession. And that's where we thrive. If we don't do it, we are lost. So even as we develop those standards, committee, as we develop those standards, we must make sure even the institutions, because I think somehow we have to get the institutions approved by this association. Okay? Those should be some of the measures and standards to be applied to those institutions. Let's not lose them up, because I think there's too much laxity that has crept in over time. We must get down there and we must restore those standards. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mwalimu Musio. And if you allow us, we would like to adorn him with his scarf. Can I call upon the chair, Dr. Florence Njao, and of course, Mr. Joroge Kamuyu.
Thank you for punctuality. One of my guys here.
Thank you, Chair and Dr. Florence. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to start on the academic presentations before we open the plenary for any comments on the remarks and the presentations we are going to do. On the academic presentations, we are going to start with Kenya Utalii College, followed by KEMU. Last but not least will be the IHTI, and then there will be another presentation from, I forgot the name. The Chef Media Limited. So there will be 4 presentations, and we are giving them at least not more than 5 minutes per institution. Karibu, Mr. Mark Pt2, the CEO and Principal, Kenya Utalii College.
This very special city. For those who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Mark Pt2. I'm the Principal and CEO of Kenya Utalii College. It is very fortunate for those who do not know that all the people who taught me, the ones who mentored me, the ones I followed their footsteps are seated here. In 1995, when I applied to join Kenya Utalii College, that is the time my former principal, Mr. Mokai CEO, is talking about. I joined Kenya Utalii College, and I was not able to join in the management course, but I was given front office course. And that is what brought me back 30 years down the line to be the principal of Kenya Utalii College. I appreciate you so much, Mwalimu. You did everything for us, and your integrity and discipline is what some of us are facing up to today. Mr. Mwangi was my lecturer during that time, and he used to tell me when I was working for Nairobi Hospital that he's the one who removed cobwebs from me from the village. Thank you so much. I don't forget Mr. Okeo Fred was also my lecturer. Madam Betty taught me and also taught me when I was doing my degree. I just want to say that I was talking to Njagi, Tony, whom we did so much with in Rwanda. When I was working in Rwanda, what you people are going back to have as benchmarking was done by some of us. And we ended up coming back. We set up Mount Kenya University in Kigali with him. We did so much. My presentation will be very brief. And I don't know, where are we? Just wait for me. I can't tell Mr. Mwangi to do it because I think that would be. What are we doing today as Kenya Utalii College? Mwalimu Mwakaisio had mentioned so many things. Let's just move very fast so that I don't take a lot of your time. Now, what is the journey that we have for Kenya Utalii College, and especially as Mark Ogendi, driving Kenya Utalii College today? You are the people who actually need to give me the right vision. All these things are today happening. And I am not wrong to say that out of it, we are truly moving well. And it is important that we move towards achievement of these targets. If you look at, we have launched a very nice ITK. I think it was started just before Professor Musyoki was a principal. Being launched and it is working. College space uplift coming up very soon. Partnerships, so for those who are following up on Kenya Utalii College pages, you are seeing what we are trying to do. Global engagements, the UN tourism that Mwalimu Mwakai CEO was talking about. I was in Riyadh a few months ago, and yesterday the permanent secretary was making a presentation on behalf of Kenya Utalii College that we have to go back as a center of excellence in tourism and hospitality training. Training excellence. Now, this is where you fall. All the most brilliant minds and the legends of hospitality and tourism are seated here today. And this is where I have to be ready to receive you so that you can give us the needed support. Innovation milestones, we have created a lot of activities that is working for us. And this is, in general, the strategic leadership that we are presenting to you. What is it that we are looking for from the industry, the players and partners? Internship opportunities, placements, and we're also looking at graduation success. This is a year that we have been able to admit 685 students, the first in the largest number, and we are increasing the number moving forward. We need your support. Transformation and greening of the Kenya Utalii College entirely, the library, the college, all the hostels. We have 50 years down the line, we've not been able to remove the asbestos. Fortunately, the government has given us a deadline. Working much with so many embassies on partnerships and collaborations, we are creating what we call Madari Future Ready project, because they're our neighbors. We must work very closely with them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call upon each one of you. Mwalimu CEO, who is my great mentor, we used to say that we would have once a month or twice we have coffee with him. I delayed a bit, Mwalimu, and I want to request that out of this, all of us should come for coffee at Kenya Utalii College, not later than next week, so that you can see we can work together. We can say that we are ready to champion the interest of Kenya Utalii College. Looking forward towards the Jubilee, Golden Jubilee celebration. 2026 is our 50th birthday. What do you have to do with Kenya Utalii College? You remember what Frederick Kennedy said. What is it that you can do for the country? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask not what Utalii can do for you, but ask what you can do for Kenya Utalii College. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the activities we're already carrying out. And we are moving so close with industry players, partnerships with embassies, institutions that are ready to work with us. And of course, as I was saying, all the grills that we painted at or we placed at Kenya Utalii College have been removed. So please come and sit with us. I know you have something good that you can do for Kenya Utalii College. And I thank you so much for listening. I want to welcome you to Kenya Utalii College next week, courtesy of Mwalimu Mwakai CEO, who managed to admit me to Kenya Utalii College, and 30 years down the line, I went back to be the principal of Kenya Utalii College. I can only succeed with your support. And then lastly, it is indeed very important that when I was leaving Naivasha to come for this event, because yesterday Mr. Mwakai CEO told me, you cannot miss this, then you are not my student. And I left at about 1 o'clock. On my way, received very special greetings from our Cabinet Secretary, Madam Rebecca Miano. I told her that I have left a workshop in Naivasha to come for this. And she said she passed us very special greetings. I know some of you interact with her. And she will ask if I presented that graduation, greeting. Please, let's meet next week, whether it will be 6 p.m. I will try to look for the PS. I'll try to look for the CS. We just have coffee and we talk. I want to see each one of you at Kenya Utalii College. I will be calling upon some of you to be in the committee to support us in organizing the 50th anniversary. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to call upon Dr. Muchai to give this next presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, my name is Dr. Muchai, a senior lecturer at Kemu University. So I would like to take a few moments here to talk briefly about our courses that we offer there, and of course welcome you. So at Kemu, we have a Department of Hospitality and Tourism. We have them in 3 campuses, here in Nairobi, also in Meru, and also in Mombasa. At the hospitality department, we have programs from diploma, bachelor's, and also master's. We are working to have the PhD program. We'll work on that. Then we have different delivery modes. For the working people, working class, we have the DLM, the distance learning mode, with a very robust learning system whereby you can be able to access the learning notes, do the card, submit there, we mark online, etc. And even those who are outside the country, they are able to do the exam virtually. So we have a very nice system where you can be able to do that. Then, in addition to that, we recognize prior learning, especially for the bachelors, and therefore you don't need to start from level 1. So we exempt you year 1 if you have the diploma, of course, from a recognized institution, and then we give you the waivers, and therefore you can start from level 2. For the masters, we are able to support our learners, the students, and they are able to pursue the masters strictly within the timeline of 2 years. So the coursework is exactly 1 year, and then the second year you are able to do thesis, and we support and we follow up, and we ensure that our students complete at the right time. The other thing is the school fee. Our school fee is very friendly. For the masters, the school fee is roughly 230. Compared with other programs, we find this is quite competitive. Then the other thing, we work with the industry, partnership, especially for the undergraduate. You don't need to abandon where you are working so that you can go for attachment, do that. So we recognize where you are working as a place of attachment, and therefore we can be able to support you where you are, write the project, write a report, and then you are able to be assessed for that. So I welcome you. I myself am based in Nairobi at Kemu Towers, 2nd floor. You'll find me there. We'll support you, and I welcome you. You can see a good number of our students who have graduated from Kemu, and I welcome everyone. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Down is forward.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So, okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As they say in political parlance, all protocols observed. This is also a graveyard shift, but I will try to do an elevator test. Yeah? Thanks, I think this is clearer now. So it's going to be more of like an elevator pitch, which should be like in 30 seconds, you've already told your boss what you want as the lift gets there. So it's a real pleasure and an honor to be able to make this presentation this afternoon on behalf of International Hotel and Tourism Institute, popularly known as IHTI. And I'm also glad that my chairman and director is also present here. And it is interesting that the only, I've not seen him. I was only able to say to him physically, Happy New Year here, although he's spoken. So I think that speaks to his style of leadership, isn't it? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me just quickly go into this. This is a presentation to the Association of Hotel Professionals, Kenya. I think I want to extend my appreciation to the association because of the support that they've given IHTI, particularly during the graduations. In my last slide, I will be looking at how we can leverage on some of those collaborations and really elevate our relationship, to deepen it further, to get even better insights and feedback from the industry, to help students, but also to build us as an association and as an industry. So I think I will not go too much into that, but what I want to pick from here is we're now celebrating our 20th anniversary. We did that last year. We established in 2005. I have already inadvertently introduced the founder of the Institute, and I think he made a very insightful comment that in 1995, when he was the principal of Utali, they had more than 75,000 applicants. So I think this is one of the things that was in his mind. So when you look at the history of the brand, you will see that, and that's what we say there, that there was a gap in the industry. There was need to train Kenyans. You can see that Utali could not manage it. Government efforts alone was not going to be sufficient. And that is why, for us, we look at it as complementing. We are not in competition with Utali or any government institution for that matter, or any other. We have a niche and we are filling that gap. And our focus is clear, to be able to provide training at international levels. That is where we are competing. We want to be global. That is why our programs and our curriculum is at that level. So that is the thinking and the philosophy that drives us. So, legal status. The question of a legal entity has been discussed severally. So we are legit. What we are doing is recognized by government. So I think it is important to just appreciate that. As in any strategic document or strategic discussion, vision is very important. We are very clear what we want to be, where we are going. It's a destination. That is our destination. But a mission, of course, defines how we get there, and that's what we're saying, to meet highest international standards of training. That is how we are getting there, and we have robust curriculum that helps to get us that, with support of the staff in that particular area. And of course, we are also guided by the values some of which has been espoused here clearly, and you can see they are rooted, and it is a thinking that comes right from the founder and has dissipated. It's a culture within the organization. Of course, we have not gone into the specific pillars. I will also not break down the specific areas of the core values in terms of what those are, but critically for us is the aspect of excellence and professionalism, which is important for us. Our offerings, of course, is H&D in both hospitality management, Prof. We have been embracing hospitality management since inception. Yes, thanks. And even culinary arts. But we also do have certificate courses that we have, and also we have short or and part-time courses. We conduct corporate workshops as well, and also for those who are in workplaces. So this is our accreditation. I already spoke about that, but you can see where we draw our curriculum from, which is revised, and even now it has just been revised. And sustainability becomes a major component, which I think we will also just highlight. Our training philosophy is very simple, very clear. Our whole thing is that this is skills. Skills is about doing. And so practical. And so the investment, of course, is fairly high, even on our part. And I think maybe that is what the chairman was saying about Utali, that support ought to be given. So practically, we focus on practicals and applied learning, industry-relevant skills, and of course, we are fairly flexible. In certain cases, we even customize and speak to the specific needs of not just individual students, but also those waiting. And you'll be surprised, if I say it, I could say it, that one of the things that we have is that we have a very personalized and very family-oriented environment. Our classes are not that big. We know each and every student, literally. We understand them as individuals. And in many cases, we also know their parents as well. So we understand even their backgrounds that they're coming from. So for such a person, addressing their needs is fairly not easy, but manageable. So we also look at different pathways as well. From the matter of sustainability, I think it's also important to be able not just to focus on employment, but give specific skills that are also able to help individuals employ themselves, but it gives them legs to continue with their careers. And almost lastly, these are some of the associations members that we belong to, so we draw quite a bit from those ends. We are members of these associations. We have, in terms of requirements, the Pt2 requirement, minimum of C-. Then, of course, we also can have, I didn't put that. Yeah, so partnerships, we have a number of partnerships as well. We have an association or an agreement with La Roche. Basically, for our students, what happens is that they will enjoy 1 year. They would go for a 1 year program after they've done the H&D. So they are qualified to do 1 year, and then they will get their degree. So that speaks to the quality of the program that is being offered. And I can go on. So because in the interest of time, I will just say that we have a footprint in many places. But allow me to just give just one scenario, maybe just very brief. In the last graduating group, this December, there's one of our students who went for his internship in the US. Just 3 months. But while he was there, he did so well. He did so well that when he was coming for graduation, he came about 3 weeks before. So he came to my office. We spoke. He told me how things were. And then he told me, you know, principal, I have been posted to the UK as an assistant manager. This was just a green graduate. But already, because of how he was working in the US, he was able to deliver at that level. So I think this is the level in which we are saying we should be delivering, right? And I can speak about many of them as well. So we have, and another time this parent came and said, look, just how he felt that he was having a small hotel. So initially, the daughter was working there. Then through the neighbor, he got to learn about her HTI. The daughter came, was able to graduate, was able to get an international internship, and then now the daughter is applying a trade in Australia. And while he was seated, so this is like 3 years, 2, 3 years later, while he was seated and they were having another function, he tells me, you know, you can't believe it. Before I knew it, there was 100,000 shillings that was ringing on my phone. This is now what had been sent to him. He says, look how this has transformed. So there are many people who can actually tell lots of stories. And maybe these are some of the things that I think we can learn from. So I agree that, yes, there's a lot of opportunities in some of these things. So this is a bit that I was saying collaboration. I spoke to it at some point, but I think what is important is how to really now deepen it further. How do we now leverage so that we can maximize or optimize in the opportunity that we have with the association? I think that is where we are, because we must deepen this thing. We must deepen this relationship. We must get this feedback, you know, so that we can address the industry needs properly and we can understand those trends. For example, youth education now, handling youth is not as easy as it used to be. Yeah, there are different generations, there are different requirements. Some of them may not have the time they cannot work as long as we would want them. They just walk out of the work. So besides this, I think that there is a lot more. We want to get to you and you will come to us. So some of the things when we come to you to help us, not just run the programs we are doing, but maybe even to train, maybe even you to do guest lectures. So let's do it. We've now said these are areas, but we want to actualize it and deepen it further. So I just want to finish by emphasizing on our motto that our business, what drives us, is creating the professionals club. That is our motto. That is what we live for. That is what drives us. That is what keeps us awake at night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Okeo. There's something very interesting that Mr. Okeo, you have raised, that maybe in the next session we shall have a sitting between the three organizations. We discuss that collaboration and how we can come and mentor your students and how the students can be integrated into joining the association. So if we have a meeting and we work together, I think that will be good for our association too. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bear with me when I invite Jennifer Mbogori to come and make a presentation on Chef Media Limited. Karibu, Jennifer.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jennifer Bogori. I'm an alumni of KEMU, class of 2010, but did my BA, majored in marketing. So I'm a marketer by profession, and we do a lot of marketing activities as Chef Media. Chef Media is an organization that was formed 10 years ago to create events for professionals. And we've done a couple of events in the last 10 years, especially on the hospitality space. There's an event that is called the East Africa Chef Expo. Here is where we work with chefs across the country and even across East Africa. It's an event that we bring suppliers to come and educate the chefs on what's new. I know all of you are in the hospitality industry. You know what happens in the kitchen world. It's very competitive and things keep on changing. It's been quite a journey with the chefs, but we've only had a challenge in that they do not have an association. So trying to bring them together becomes a very big challenge. But we've navigated through, and we've also created a magazine for them. We call it the East Africa Chef Magazine. This magazine, by the way, has really propelled a lot of chefs. It has become like their CV. They carry it even to their interviews, and it has really marketed our local chefs because we've been working with the local chefs really in Kenya, majority, Uganda, and a few of Tanzania. So it's a place where chefs really market themselves, the schools they went to, where they are. So it has really marketed our chefs. We also do another event that is called the East Africa Bakery and Pastry Expo. We are actually on our 9th year. This one, the Bakery and Pastry Expo, now again targets the bakers, the pastry chefs. This is another event that also educates and showcases different items that happens in the bakery industry. Apart from working with maybe the bakers and the pastry chefs and the chefs, we've also worked with housekeepers. I think housekeepers have an association. And I think I need to say there's something I have noticed with the hotel professions. There's unity. I don't know, there's lack of unity because I've worked with you. I've worked with chefs, I've worked with housekeepers. There's an event that we work with housekeepers. It's called the East Africa Clean Expo. So if you look at all these are marketing events, but also training events for these professions. Because what we do with this, we get suppliers who come and train housekeepers. They also come and train chefs. They come and train bakers. They come and train the pastry chefs and all that. So for the housekeepers, you also have a magazine for them. And then I think the time I met Mr. Kenywa, we had done a book called the East Africa Chef Book. It was a big book, and we had featured 100 chefs. It was during COVID. During COVID, we didn't have events. We were told no gatherings, no nothing, but we actually did a book. And this is where the time we met with Mr. Kenywa during that COVID season. And this book actually did quite well. So I just need to, I was giving you a background, and as I was listening, and I think Prof gave a very good presentation. We are talking to hoteliers here. We are in an AGM of hotel professionals. as a marketer, if you had given me a chance maybe to organize this, I would be having sponsors here. We would not be using our own money to pay for our food to organize this event. Why? Most of you are GMs in hotels, let me give that. I think I've met some of you when I come to meet some of your chefs. Some of the chefs are like, oh, no, just come and meet this. And I think I've met some of the GMs. The reason I'm saying this is that I'm talking to GMs. You are the people who sit with the budgets. You're the people who actually know we are going to use this kind of oil in our hotel, you're the bosses, you make the decisions. And how do you take that to your own advantage? These suppliers need to support your small events like this. You cannot just, I hope I'm not stealing a lot of my, but anyway, that's why I'm telling you, if you had given me a chance to organize this, we could be having a lot of sponsors here. Because I believe you're the ones who will say we are going to use Odex, or we are going to use Company B, Company C in our hotel. So that is your competitive advantage, to have these people support your events, and that's how you can be able to generate funds. I know you're all working, you're on salaries, and most of you, of course, we have kids and all that. So we need to have, apart from just using our salaries to support our events like these ones, we need to know we are in a professional group. We make decisions for our hotels or for our organizations, and this is how we need to come together so that we can be able to raise funds. But you need to give this to a professional to be able to handle for you. You know, there's something also I've learned with hoteliers. You want to do everything. People are very busy. I've worked with chefs. They're like, oh, we are going to organize our own competition. It will never happen. Chefs are very busy. GMs, you're very busy. Housekeepers, you're very busy. You do not have time to run and hope from one supplier to another to another. That's our work. We are able to do that. So if maybe the organization or the association is willing, we are a very vibrant group, and we can just see how we can be able to work. For me, how I come in, I would not like to be involved maybe in the formation and all that, but how do we raise money for our association? That's where Chef Media can come in. We have a group that I've seen that you're saying you need to do a lot of publicity. Yes, very important. In this time and age, you cannot do things the way maybe you're doing back in the 80s or 90s. This is 2025. You really need to be out there on social media, on all these, printing all these things. And we have a very vibrant group that we can be able to run your websites, we can be able to do your videography. If you need to print your magazines, we can be able to organize that. We are able to get sponsors, at least so that we do not tell you, oh, now we are coming with maybe a hotel professional book, then we have to go back to our salaries to support this book. So when we come in, we'll just come up with a strategy on how we can be able to get these monies from our suppliers. Yeah? These are the people who should be, you support them. You should not even feel guilty. I'm very sure if I come to your hotel, you're the one who's making decision. You're the one who's saying, I'm going to give Soilex, yeah, this kind of business. They need to support you. I'm going to give LG maybe something to run our laundry. They need to support you. So if we work together, we get support from you as hoteliers, we can be able to raise the money, and it should not be an issue. Maybe in your next AGM, we are still talking about that we need to do 1 million budget. No. If you look at the architects, every August, they have a very big event, and it is well supported. The other thing with hoteliers, and I'll tell you because I've worked with housekeepers, I've worked with chefs, I've not really worked with the GMs. When maybe you're having your own events, you see now maybe, let's say now we're saying we're going to have an event for the hotel professionals. And we bring, I don't know, when we go out there, we tell all these people, Dr. Matres, we tell all these people, we're going to bring you the 104, let's say there are 104 members. Then the event is done, we get the sponsors. Then the day for the event, my God, nobody shows up. Where are the housekeepers? Jenny, where are the housekeepers? You promised us, you know? That's a problem. So when maybe you do an event, and maybe we've agreed that this is how we're going to do it, you're going to bring your members, please, these sponsors, again, they want to train you in one location. This is the beauty of having maybe all these people coming in one. Prof was saying about training your members. You do not just want your members to come and you tell them, oh, the association. You need, let them learn what's new in the market. Let these sponsors have also as a time slot on how they can be able to train your members on different items. And I think that's how we've done with a lot of the housekeeping and the chefs. So maybe I don't know, have I left anything else, Lydia? I think that's how maybe I would come in as chef media. So we are very open, Mr. Kenyo, we are very open. Let's see how we can be able to assist the association. For us, we'll just be on the marketing and how to raise funds for the association. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You'll share your official contact, your office number.
Yeah, Mr. Kenyo has everything. He also has my email address. Yes, so yeah, we can communicate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. You have really challenged us and given us an idea, and we shall either get in touch with you or we shall use your idea for the next AGM. We shall not use the members' money. We shall do what you have told us. But we have to come for you to ensure that the numbers are more than we have at the moment. What trick do you use?
Okay, you see, we are free. We are not like employed. We don't work for a hotel. So we have all the time
To go in person.
Go in person and do that. But
Wow.
if you now say you're going to do yourself, you might get one or two sponsors.
And it's their core business
And that's
to
our core
organize
business.
events.
Yeah, we organize
Okay.
events to publish.
Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize the presence of Victoria Adwete, representative of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tourism. Am I right? Just come and say jambo to the members.
Jambo. You know, we Gen Zs are a bit keen on how we are operating because one small thing like this, we may be accused of other things. So we tend to try and obey, and I've been told to say jambo, right? My name is Victoria Adwet. I'm a member of the Tourism and Hospitality Committee at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. And I don't want to take much time, just to register our apology for coming in late. We had another meeting elsewhere. But we are a good friend to the association. We were here last year. We are good friends with this particular association. And as a committee, we want to say strongly that Chamber of Commerce really acknowledges the Hotel Association. And we look forward to continuously working together because what you're doing is the backbone of the tourism industry, and we acknowledge that as a committee. So keep up the good work, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll allow me to let members ask some questions, Q&A session. Q&A for any of the presentations that we've been having, besides the one of getting Jennifer's contact. That one we've been told to see Kinyo about. So we'll see Kinyo about her contacts. But any Q&A about presentation from Mr. Marekia, Professor Musyoki, Ambassador Sio, or a comment to the institutions? Any question, any comments?
I think, yeah, further to what Mr. Barekia was saying, that we should be well, sensitive and supportive of anyone of us that might be might get diseased. I think it's to do with the members, not any extended family members. Just like anything to work needs measurability, will it be, might be more practical, since it's important, yeah, that we support each other. And I think it's good to set up because, like you say, if it's voluntary, 100%, then perhaps there won't be any guaranteed desired outcomes. So I think it's good to say something like, is it going to be 1,000 for a member who is? I think we need to be certain. We need to have something that is measurable, and it's expected, since it's an important thing to do.
Thank you, Sospita. Chair, you want to comment on that? Yes.
Members, I'm the one who brought this agenda. It is true that I was very concerned. That's why I had asked Patrick to speak about it. What we observed, and that was more worrying. For example, when Godfrey Karume, one of our longest-serving members in the industry, passed on, and we had to go for his internship, internment, or whatever, his funeral back home, we were only 4 of us from the entire industry. 4, only 4, and went to a place called Kireine. When we went to bury our vice chairman Obadia in Kisumu, despite the fact that members overwhelmingly supported financially, 2/3 of the budget, both hospital and the burial, came from members, and I commend you for that. But the physical appearance there, I think we only 2, myself and another member who came from Masai Mara. Of course, Kisumu is far, but you see, this was our vice chairman. When we lost Ms. Maina and Joyce Maina, for those who have been at Utalii, you're talking about Mr. Seals and the long service. Anybody who have done a commercial, is it commercial? We used to call it typing those days. Typing. Any manager who has done a bit of typing went through Mrs. Maina for many years, and most of us are here, I included. So, Ms. Maina, even her husband was the first, was the general manager at Utalii Hotel for many years. So they were both there. When we went for the funeral, again in Muranga, I think we were only 4 of us. And then we were asking ourselves, where are the members from the industry? Where is the industry? In fact, at one time I was wondering, didn't we know that Mrs. Maina has passed on? Then recently we went for the funeral. This other gentleman called Mr. Menabo. Ezekiel Menabo, you all know him. Very, very vibrant. He came from Utalii, he went to Nairobi Club, whatever. When he went for his requiem mass, just here in Nairobi, it was myself, Mr. Mwangi, and Mr. Okeo. Only ourselves. And Menabo was everywhere in this industry. Then finally, recently, we went to bury Mr. Jogona. Again, we were 3 of us. Now, Raphael, myself, and another person. Then we're wondering, where are the members of this profession? When one of us has gone or has departed, where are we? Like all those other members that are mentioned here, it's only family members and other associations, organizations who are there, but nobody from the hospital was there. So what we are saying is, financial support is one thing, but physical support, I think in our African tradition, physical support counts a lot. Money doesn't bury somebody. It is you to go and bury your colleague and they say, and in fact, like when we went to Badia, we had to use even our regalias and all that here. We buried him in our outfit. So we're just challenging ourselves that when it happens in future, let's go and escort and even be able to support the family. That's what we had in mind. For Jennifer, you have touched around up. We are not organizing just an AGM. We are going to organize a very big symposium, and you'll be on board. Thank you very much.
Chair, you did not touch on Sospita's issue. He was saying, how do we ensure that we have this kind of maybe a fund, and how much we should contribute?
Not even a fund. If it's to contribute, how much do we contribute? Something certain, something that will create uniformity, and there can be a track record on, how much people are complying, because there must be, I think, set standards.
It's a good question. In fact, we had considered that point. We had we are in discussion with Britam. Britam is an insurance company, also fund manager. They were supposed to give us some kind of a quotation. Once we get this quotation and discuss it as a board, we will share with the membership. Because we asked them, there's medical and there's the last respect. Here we're talking about the last respect. In fact, one of their people was supposed to be here today, but they got help of someone in the jam. So we are discussing with them to know how much would a member pay for us to be able to benefit. And then there are those packages, either 50,000, 100,000, 20,000. So we shall decide how much do we want to be getting and how much do we pay per person. So that is going to be discussed.
I think like, sorry, God forbid, if something happens tomorrow, before that happens, and we say we need to have Mariam so and so, yeah, what would be a standardizing, because I don't think it's, that's why it might be, people should be guided. So if it's 1,000 shillings each, if it's 2,000, if, then somebody will not having these doubts, have I given too little?
We wanted this to come from the floor because, like, for example, what we want to do is that we put on our platform a communication that so-and-so has passed on. Can members voluntarily give something?
There might be nothing finding. Because people need to feel, guided. Know that they know something decisive should be there. Somebody said, I've met the mark. It should be certain.
Members, do you have
because we belong in a certain. You see, this association is real. It's there. So everything we do, I think, should be very well elaborated. Not just left to chance. So Peter does this, the other does this. I think that's where that could be contributing to the apathy.
Patrick, you want to comment?
I just want to agree with Sospita.
Yes.
Let's agree now.
Yeah.
Members, can we have a proposal?
2,000 shillings for members, and we still.
While we work at personal insurance, what. That is, I think, if something happens, I think let's have a
so can we say a minimum of 1,000 shillings? Is that too little? Yes, David.
Yeah, I think I want to say what Mr. Tamarind has said. There's something marking for Saroba. A group of Saroba ex-staff, and even.
Thank you. So a group of ex-employees of Sarova, and even those who are ongoing, are members of a group which is called Barossa. The reason why that name came is because of a discussion like this one. We pay 1,000 per month.
Yeah.
And out of that 1,000, one covers, I think, 2 parents. No, 4 parents for those who are living.
Yes.
That is from the spouse and also from the 2 spouses. I don't know, is there one spouse and another?
prepared. So they are covered, and then the members themselves, as well as anyone in that group, which I mean the children under 18. So it covers quite a lot, 1,000 if anything happens. And the last expense is 100,000.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of money. It's a question of looking at the person who can tell us this is what happens and then it is paid. But I'm not saying we pay 1,000, I'm saying it is working.
We have these two options. For example, that's why we are working with Britain, and we coming to that direction here. How much could, as per group, how much can we be paying? They will give us a proposal. We would share with what Sarova, for example, are doing and anybody else. But in the interim, that's what Sospres says, in the interim, between now and that time.
You can't get that one until you get the rates.
Hmm?
Until you get the rates of the insurance.
I think the two of you are not getting each other. We have accepted your idea about like what is happening with the Sarovas. We have approached Britain, and they were supposed to come and give us a talk about it, and then we shall communicate to the members on how much they will contribute to the Britain last rites.
I'm with you.
Thank you. But now what you're saying is, before that happens, can we agree that as if one of us goes west, then we will contribute 1,000 each
for that situation?
For that situation, that side. In the interim. In the interim, when we get the Peterman, we talk. How many are for it? Say aye. Or let's raise up the hand. So that's a resolution we can say has been passed. That if any of give them 3 months.
Or they give their reasons, what could be keeping them away.
So that we remove them completely. We will communicate with them. And depending on what the response is going to be, then we can either cut them out of the association or keep them on. Is that okay?
I think we first refurbish ourselves, become attractive, then give ideas after that. We are not yet there.
Mangi, I thought we agreed very well that the officials of the association will sit down with the lawyer and be able to, within 3 months, be able to communicate with those dormant members. If they don't give a reason on why they have not been paying their subscription, the officials will be able to remove them. I think that will be part as a resolution.
Thank
why
you.
are we going back again to the narrative?
Thank you. We will not go back to that. We will follow that. Good. We are somewhere, and I want to invite Dr. Florence Jao to come and say something.
And invite you for dinner.
Good evening. I'm sure we are all tired. My role is quite simple and straightforward. It's been a good day. I'm sure all of you are pretty tired and hungry. So the sooner I finish with what I'm about to say, the better. But as we were told that tourism is a smile of the nation. So even if we are tired, we keep smiling. Okay, mine is a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I want to give thanks for the Almighty for enabling us to be here. We started off with a prayer and we'll end with a prayer by Jane. So we thank God for life, and we thank God even for good health, and even being here. Even just being alive or even being able to see is something to be grateful for. And then we want to give our vote of thanks to the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, through the representative that was here for the PS, representing the Ministry of Tourism, State Department of Tourism. That was Mr. Herman Shambi. It's good that we were recognized by the ministry, and that's the way we should go, and we should continue pushing so that we have something on our being incorporated by an act of parliament. So we keep pushing. Next is the honorary members. The honorary members, Thank you. You've persevered being with us the whole afternoon, and you are really on time. Here we have Ambassador, this time tumuite Mwalimu. Mwalimu Sio, Gerson Misumi, Professor Charles Musyoki, Mr. Patrick Marekia, the hospitality guru. He is my mentor, apart from Betty. He was my mentor at Sarova for many years, task force. Mr. Stephen Kamoyo, I think the honorary members have covered them. Thank you for your input, your insights. They were great, and you gave us a challenge. Particularly, Prof, you guided us on some of the key points that we need to work on, the legislative step. We check the overlaps, publicize ourselves, and think about creating an app for AHPK, and also take the lead in opinion regarding our hospitality industry whenever we have a crisis or whenever we are even having an issue. And vote of thanks also goes to hospitality institutions. Mr. Mark Rachonyo Ogendi, Principal Kenya Hotelii College. We are great that you're taking strategic leadership to revamp the institution. Number two, we also had Dr. Mushai Kemu. We appreciate the fact that recognition of prior learning is actually been taken up, so that's a good step. Even KUC, I believe that's a work in progress, so that we have our cooks and our waiters who are skilled, but then they do not, their experience is equivalent to actually going to, in fact, they're better off than that class, that certificate that we have. So we need to adopt that. Then we had Mr. Fred Okeo of IHTI. This, for sure, it has global presence. The internationalization of IHTI is a benchmark all should follow. So thank you, IHTI. Then we had Chefs Media. And Chefs Media already, you have already gotten yourself a slot in resource mobilization. Let's hope our committee sticks to that so that you can help us get resources and mobilize. Okay. We also had Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. This was Victoria Adwet, who came in late, but she apologized. We all know that in this industry, you cannot operate alone. You need partnerships. You need trade partners. And being a member of KNCCI is actually key, because as much as tourism is a service sector, we need also the trade aspect. Thank you. Then we also have our vote of thanks also goes to the organizing committee, starting with our able chair, Mr. Kenywa, the vice chair, and even the organizing secretary, Mr. Mwangi, and the whole committee. Then we have also, we need to thank the host, Tamarind Tree, led by Dr. Musao, and also his team. We have all enjoyed very good refreshments, and we expect that even as we go for dinner, they'll exceed our expectations. And we loved the soup. If Dr. Musao is here, the soup was a good welcome for those who came in early. They partook of that. And tamarind juice was flowing throughout. So that's kudos to him. Last but not least is ourselves as members. We could not make it without you. So it's important that members attend the AGM. With that, I wish to close the vote of thanks. So let's give a very big flower, is it clap? What do we call it? Okay, we'll applaud them. And how we are going to applaud them, we are going to do 5 factorial to all those people who participated. And I'll begin and tell you how we are going to do it. We'll clap 5 times, then 4 times, then 3 times, then 2 times, then 1. Okay, and I will count 3, and then we begin. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I'll now call Jane to do closing prayer, and immediately after the closing prayer, we'll have a group photo, and then we can proceed for dinner. Thank you. Asanteni.
Good evening, members. I am very challenged, and I want us to ask ourselves, what can we do for this association? And let us be intentional. Thank you so much, everybody that presented. And this is my first time to be an AGM, and I'm already challenging myself as a marketer, as a PR person. What is it that I can do for this association? I mean, we are the heartbeat of this economy, aren't we? So, I'm actually embarrassed. So help me God. Shall we give thanks to God? I think we can stand up. With eyes closed, Almighty Father, in the name of Jesus, we come before your throne of grace this evening. We are so grateful, O God, for the opportunity even to be gathered in this place the whole afternoon. Father, you have been with us. Good ideas have come forth, and we pray that you will help us to move them forward, Jehovah God, that we can leave a legacy even for the generations to come. How we pray, Lord God, even for the steering committee that have been on the forefront of these preparations. We particularly want to thank you for the chairman and all the people that birthed this good idea. For many years, Lord God, we had no direction, but now we have direction and we are grateful. And we pray, Father God, that you continue to give them the double portion of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they steer this association forward. Father, we thank you because we have so many people in this industry, and it is us who are going to make the difference. Help us, O God. And this evening, as we prepare to go for a meal, we ask, Lord God, that it is sanctified with the blood of Jesus, and even many that have nothing, Jehovah, remember them, may you meet them at the points of their needs. As we have deliberated on the way forward, we pray that you'd help us, that everybody does their part. And we know that when we put everything before you, everything will be possible. We have prayed all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Can we all move forward so that we have the group photograph just right in front there?
Let's hold on, get there. Jack, you didn't tell us to smile. Okay, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, smile. Ladies and gentlemen, smile. Smile of the nation. Thank you, gentlemen. It was very nice. Thank you. The board members.
Thank you very much. We are heading to the restaurant for dinner, and
board members.
Okay. Gentlemen and ladies, smile. Yes.
Hold on.
Hold on, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very much. Appreciate it.
We're going to the restaurant for dinner.